Good now. Hey guys, welcome. Luxl, Muck, Havald, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no worries. If you want to start off, Luxl, with you, just saying hello, where you're from, what clan you're playing for, and
Hey,
so on.
I'm luxl. I'm from Austria. I play commander and artillery for the 82nd Airborne Division.
Okay. Muck?
Mm,
Hi, I'm an unemployed alcoholic, as any good HLL player should be. Leader, a leader of Gary's OnlyFans. It is a clan that started as quite a bit of a joke, as you can tell by the name. Just a couple guys, and now we're here. I'm really striving for the competitive scene, looking for players, trying to grow the scene. And I play squad leader in game. Do a lot of the pre-game strats, and I have no life because it's all hell loose. So.
Hey, I'm havald. I'm coming from Germany. I'm part of the CoRe organization and also like right now the main commander from CoRe, unfortunately. Yeah.
Can you show the viewers your bed?
No.
Yeah, and last but not least, my name's Hammer. I do casting, hella loose, competitive from BR1. And yeah, we're here today to talk about competitive scene. Some things we like, some things we'd like to see improve. Starting off though, I think we could take a week's look back at the week's results from competitive. Got it here in front of me. I know you guys have played some matches this week. I know Kursk played a couple too. Starting off at the top with the Russians. I don't know how much you know about the Russian clans, but Red beat PKKA. Apparently, they're still alive, 5-0 on SMDM. They played a couple games. They've actually won the first two games they played. They also played BWCC and Let Loosers. I know they're working together for the seasonal this year. They beat them 5-0 in a 50-minute game. What do you guys think about the Russians so far? What do you think about those games? You worried? Any of you guys, your teams?
The non-cheating teams? Just kidding.
I
Shots
mean, that
fired.
scandal broke the Russian scene a little bit apart. I know that. Lots of smaller clans out there trying to rebuild. We do have some ex-PKKA members in 82nd as well. So maybe we just got the best people from there and now they play for us. But yeah, it's difficult to rate them. They haven't produced a really strong team in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark,
I haven't.
Evolve?
Yeah, I haven't really seen much out of them. Anytime we played the Russians, it was and that joke I made earlier, I mean, it's nothing of that. But we did actually have a team that we played, the only Russian team that we got beat badly by a long time ago. They actually ended up getting there was a thing there. But what I have to say is this: never count out the Russians. I mean, they're proud people. They I would say that maybe one day, if the scene lasts a few years, there's going to be a team, but I haven't really seen much yet. That's really all there's to
like a
it.
core of Russia almost.
I mean, that's kind of like CNut is to China,
Mhm.
and and CNut has made waves, so yeah, don't count them out.
Evolve?
I can't really say much about the Russian community. I think it's the same with the French community, that there's a lot like infighting happening there.
Mm.
And they are always like breaking on each other, so I have no idea. The only thing I can say that I look forward to see more of the Eastern group. They seem to be a decent team right now. We played against them. Was not the longest match, but they still gave us a good time. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I actually cast that game. Sorry, I started with yesterday's game. That game was back last weekend on the 30th. It was on Utah 49v49, 5-0 in 33 minutes for CoRe versus EG. Now, one thing I actually noticed, it's funny you mentioned that, EG, the way they played, like you guys are really great at getting wide, not just grouping up around Garrisons, getting your line set, having really good spacing. One thing I saw from them is they didn't seem to be able to do that. Whenever they lost a point, the pressure was immediate from CoRe, and they weren't able to get any kind of defensive line out. They were kind of playing really tight around their Garys and getting caught out and collapsed on fairly quickly. So, and it's kind of odd because they played like teams like 1/16th and played very, very well against them. I mean, just here I can see their last result for 1/16th was a 4-1. So I think they beat them 3-2 the week before, but then after they lost 4-1. Other games we have from this week though, on the 30th, starting on the 30th, going back, SCB versus OC and Esprit de Corps. SCB losing that 1-4-1. That's another HPL final, CoRe versus BST2 501 ES. That was a 5-0 in 37 minutes for havald and CoRe. We got 82nd AD versus Exodus here, a 5-0 for 82nd AD. I don't know if did you play in that one, Luxl?
Yeah, it was a quick one.
That was a quick match.
Yeah, Exodus was a really strong team like a year ago, but they had so many people leave and make other clans, and honestly, yeah, just was a quick game and not too much opposition for us.
Yeah, they also played Phoenix in the week and lost to them too. I've heard so much about how strong they were before, but in the HPL certainly they're teamed up with two different teams there, and they didn't show. They looked like they were improving, but there was never the signs of strength that other people have said they've had. CoRe also played against Red and War, mixing up together again those Russian clans. That was a 5-0 in 30 minutes. A lot of games this week actually. Here, STDB versus DC. SCDB and DC versus EG there, them 5-0ing the Russians. EG 5-0'd then 501 ES, which is it's just weird how teams can go, because I know 501 ES is a decent team. You know, they beat TL in the semifinals of the HPL, but then to lose 5-0 to EG, I guess we don't really know the circumstances of these games. But it seems really back and forth. Like no team, there's no steady kind of consistent rule for some of these teams here. We also have 116th and 82nd AD, the 3-2. That was a good match. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, we lost at 1-3-2 in the last 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, really hard fight. 116th have really good tankers, and I think that's one of the main issues we faced against them.
I think one problem all the teams got with the 116 that they are not that patient when these guys are. They will wait for the last like 10 minutes of the game and then will go full on you. And most of the teams are not ready for that.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. We took down 116 3-2, but they probably would have capped with more time. And my question was, if they had such good ability to push coordinated like that, why not try it? And we didn't have a lot of cap weight in their fourth point or their second point, so why not try that push like multiple times throughout the game with all the time that you have? Because had they had done that before, we might have had a bigger struggle. But because they waited so long, we won 3-2. It was a tough one. It was a nail biter, but they have very patient players. I'll put it that way. And I think that they need to send more runners. But 116th they're still a solid team.
Oh, really? They are, honestly. The biggest rival in the German community.
Yeah, second best German team in my opinion at the moment.
Yeah, and so you touched on the tankers. I gotta mention this, and I'm sorry if I do offend any tankers from 82nd AD, but at one point you pushed, you being 82nd Luxl, two tigers together on the north side alone. There was no infantry cover. And what ended up happening is they got caught out in a field by 176. The 76. Now, what the problem was, the tigers were going parallel, but then they went in a column. And as soon as the 76 peaked, only one tiger was able to fight, right? So that first tiger just got smoked. The 76 retreated then. The second tiger was caught behind enemy lines. AT harassing, Satchel's pushing it. Eventually, the 76 came back and killed it out. And that's actually one of the moments of the match that I noticed, because after then, you guys just didn't have the fuel to stack those two tigers again.
That broke our back, honestly, and I'm not quite happy with the play. But because the fourth point, we were holding church at that point, Saint Maeglis, for anybody who didn't watch the game, and the tankers are pushing far in the north, and the second point for 116th was Maison de Crick, all the way in the south. So yeah, I was not happy with the call that the tankers made there, and that cost us two tigers. So yeah, our fuel was we could field like one more tank afterwards, like one tiger. But the 76 with the faster reload is in such a strong position in the current meta.
First time having that issue.
Nah, it's always been that way with the Tiger versus the 76. But yeah, we made some mistakes. We're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think that speaking on the meta there, the 7-second reload is completely broken, especially for the cost of the Tiger. But the way to mitigate that now, everybody remembers when AT guns were a bit of a meme because they were so absolute garbage. Because they couldn't pen from the front, and they also just didn't shoot where you were pointing.
Mm.
They were just so bad. And now I think they're actually a pretty great contingency plan, and I think that they should be used in comp as a backup. And they don't always survive, but if you can get 176 off of an 8 pack gun or Panzer Canone, as you guys call it, I think that's huge for 50 supplies. I see no reason not to use that as a contingency.
You
Yeah.
might want to also make the argument as the German side that you don't want to field Tigers at all. Just rely on AT guns. I mean, yeah, not field any at all, but have your infantry deal with the 76s and just push the Panzer IVs in suicide runs into the enemy
Or,
strong point.
combined
Because
arms.
if you lose them, it's 200 fuel. It's honestly like nothing almost.
That's
Mhm.
not a bad point. Yeah, maybe like one or two Tigers for the entire game span.
Mhm.
I think that would be and just keep those maybe very very defensively, and then just
Yeah.
go to the Panzers. That's a good point.
Definitely is something to think about. I wonder if we'll see that maybe in a mixed comp match, Friday night fights, or in squad line battles.
Until the developers change the game again, and then we have to rethink everything.
One thing I want to touch on about the AT guns, though, is a huge issue. And I think we saw this on Greyhound Night last week. Is a Tiger killed the AT gun, and both members on it survived, and just built a new one. And when the Tiger drove by, they built a new AT gun and shot him in the butt, killed him. Like,
That's the issue right
Yeah.
now. If you
That's
shoot
crazy.
with AP, if you shoot
Yeah.
it with AP on them, they get just destroyed and the inhibitants survive. But if you
Mm.
use an high explosive, it's killing all of them.
yeah, which is
So
weird
this
because the
seems to
AT
be
gun
bug.
explodes, right? So you'd think
Yeah,
that
it's a bug.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, at all.
Yeah, but it's the same with every vehicle exploding in the game. If you're just standing by it, you're only gonna take like half damage,
Mm.
and you're just gonna bandage, and you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some more games from the week. We have BST2 250 and 501ES versus Exodus 4-1. We have 116th and STDB, which was a 3-2. I don't know if any of you guys saw that game. That sounds like it was a good one, though. 90-minute game.
Did 116 win or STB?
That was 116th winning versus STDB 3-2, 90 minutes.
It was a really long game, and STB lost the midpoint at the beginning, but got it later back.
I like
And
that. I like to hear that STB was keeping that 90
they
minute game though.
played really strong. They could have won that if they wouldn't have get out to the fourth point and in the last I think 10 minutes or something.
Esprit de Corps, OP, and BHB versus 82nd AD 5-0 on St. Mary Église.
Yeah.
What happened there? 16 minutes?
We kind of broke apart, to be honest with you. The middle point was checkpoint, and Esprit was playing with some 116 tankers as well.
Okay.
And they rushed 2 luxes into the strong point, and
Wow.
on the south side, nobody from our infantry could respond and deal with them. And I think they took out 4 or 5 OPs, and that was our push gone. And our second point was Maison de Creek, left the front door open. The enemy went in, and it's kinda, I don't want to say impossible to take Mason de Creek back on Ella's side, but you have such a long way into the enemy strong point, and most of it is just open fields. And if the enemy is at least half decent, there should be no way you walk in.
Yeah. So you touched on rushing Luxes before. I've seen 116th pull that off. They actually did it against, I believe, against CoRe on, I think it was Carrington on the north side of the map
I
there.
watched that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that one Lux actually held CoRe you guys up for a long time until he suicided for some reason. And right after he suicided, you got a squad through on the north side. You were able to take the midpoint. You had a really nice push on the south too. But that might be something we see from 116th going forward here in comp. Let's see what other games we had.
That Luke's play was. I was really sick. When we played CoRe yesterday, we would have had that Luke's cross the water the same way. The only issue I told them was the Stewart, which really posed a huge threat. But thankfully, I think they got the AT rocket on it to save the Luke's in combination.
In that game. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was a nice kill on the Stewart.
It was a really good play. Really good play.
That was a while ago. That was in the HPL. Yeah, a while ago. More games. CoRe versus Finless Loose. 5-0, 34 minutes. That was a friendly match. Havald, how did that look? Finlet Loose, how are they looking?
They had a really nice offensive. Like the first 10 minutes, they gave us a really hard time. The midpoint was North Pass. and they send a transport truck over the river, like into us, in the south of our attack. And I
Hmm.
was there as a defense squad commander this time.
Hmm.
And I can tell you, they mowed us down like nothing.
Huh.
But after we destroyed the tanks and moved in with like the whole meat grind, the game was over because they spread it too much. They tried to attack our second point.
Hmm.
They moved around too much of a half of the map, and then our guys just walked into the last caps and took it in like I think 50 minutes.
It was actually the whole game was 34 minutes, but yeah, no, okay. CoRe also played 1FJG and LWJG46. Oh my god, we should try to pronounce that name, Muck. The name of that
Okay.
clan, LWJG46, whatever that
See if
is,
that's
it's
better.
gonna be.
It's
this-
it's paratrooper, the first paratroopers, and how can you say that in English? It's Landwehrjägerregiment. It's like
What?
Oh,
it's
I don't think there's a translation for
No,
that.
no, it's weird. It's weird. We call them Fallobste and yeah, Landwurstjäger.
Landwurstjäger. Okay.
Yeah, it's a meme. It's a German meme.
25 minutes.
The more I hear German words, the less I feel bad about having there and your in the English language.
Yeah, it's right now. It's like the German Cup right now. It's the German league, a small league right now, and we played the first game against them.
Okay. Yep.
Sadly for them.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Not as close as the game versus PKK in the HPL, which was how long was it? 14?
40 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that game's up on BR1 Esports, by the way, if you want to check it out. It's a very quick, I think the fastest match to ever happen in competitive
I
play.
think it's the fastest recorded match
Yeah.
we have right now. Yeah.
Also, CoRe versus Trirex, 28-minute game, 5-0 on Quarantine. Muck,
Hi.
Havald.
Yeah.
Notes on the game? What happened during that one?
So Trirex is new as a combined effort. It's with my team, GoF, DKB, and BDSQ. We have only 3 games under our belt. The 2 of them being top 3 teams in the world.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of go hard, and it's always good to just get that humble ass kick in and learn from it. Otherwise, if you just play less talented teams. So I had a game plan for CoRe just from studying them. CoRe is very, very good at setting up the line. And I actually wanted to touch on this. When you play a team like CoRe, you just have to recognize, like, I think every team should do this. You should humble yourself and recognize their strengths, which is a lot of things, and their weaknesses, which is few things. So you have to find ways to exploit the weaknesses, and then you have to acknowledge, like, for like shooters, for instance, CoRe is the best shooters in the game. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think maybe WTH is the only one to compete there, but CoRe is the best shooters in the game. There's no doubt about it. You show them an elbow, you're dead. It's obnoxious. They are so good at shooting. So you have to find ways to neutralize the shooters, and you have to find ways to exploit the way that they play the map. We actually had there was a couple things that could have been changed. For one, if you don't have artillery online, you don't be CoRe. That's it. Unless you have better shooters, and you don't. So if you don't have artillery online, you don't be CoRe. So one of the strategies that we implemented was the RD defense, and we had a team for it. There were some mishaps there. They were loading as opposed to building and making those patrols. So Artie was offline, and it's just not going to happen against CoRe. You're not going to outshoot their guys. We had a half cap on Town Center using a strategy that I implemented. Had we had just kept more of the meat grind from CoRe's big line in their flanks, especially with customs with that water and all those lines of sight that you have we had just kept a better meat grind, using the strategy that I implemented, and kept artillery up, that multiplier, like the strong point to get the recappers, because I watched the 1/16th footage. I watched how CoRe had to do a desperate redeploy on I think rail crossing the 4th point to the east. They had to do a desperate redeploy, and if they kept the already multiplier up on that CoRe redeploy, 116 takes that point back. Stop laughing, Evolved.
I'm not laughing about you. I'm
It's the
laughing about
comment
the
in chat from Killswitch. Muck's got the "Can you spare some change?" look going.
Yeah, but all right. Well, can you? But yeah, I think so. I think that's the way to do it. But we saw a lot of good things in that scrim. We really did. If when you see the results, you see 30 minutes, like, oh, what a joke, they got swept, and that may be true for a newer team playing together. But there was a lot of good things to take away from that scrim, and I think there was maybe not even major, but minor tweaks that could really change the game, because it's all about compounding those macro plays to make an opportunity. And I think that there was a huge opportunity there, and I'm just glad to see that we did that, because we don't go into CoRe as a new team expecting to beat them. We go into CoRe to go, that was the thing, and that's what we got out of that. So it was a great game. All this is just cope. We lost, but it was fun. It was a good game.
No, it's a good point. It's a fair point to make, right? You go into these games and you want to face the best team and you want to learn from it. Like if you just go in, you lose, whatever, and you don't learn anything from it, yeah, it was useless. But when you can really critically look at how your team played and how the other team played and change things and edit things and make it something maybe better for next time, that's exactly what you need to do there in that situation, I think.
I told my guys to just, what we're focused on today is one, just the nerves, just relax. If you die, if you get spawn camp, find another way, find another OP. Just slow down your gameplay. It's slow then fast, and that's what CoRe does. They're slow, then they're fast, very fast. And once they're fast, they're so fucking fast. And then they got Zims and Jay Thompsons and all these freaking guys shooting you from every angle, and then they explode. And that's like saying you have to match that pace, and then counter it, and then find your opportunities and use their overextended line, to which they're very good at reacting to. But that's why you need all the pieces in play. But CoRe's an amazing team. They're setting the bar, and when we talk about the whole meta thing, I'll address that more. But go ahead.
Yeah. Havald, any comments about the game?
They were a little bit unlucky. When I saw against we would play and we've met the feeling for the match, I decided that we would send the best we can send, like almost. Like because because it's a new team, I was like, hey, we want the experience before the season. They must know what's going on.
Appreciate that.
And
Yeah.
the thing was, when I saw the next point was custom, I really planned instantly for that after we took the midpoint. Like instantly move like my free squad, the Suicide Squad north, take these ships to get over the fucking thing, build a backup redstone garrison and get them. And when I drove there through the river into with my supply truck, there was a fucking tiger right into my face. So they know what would happen. So they tried their best. The only thing I'm not like really satisfied with is my defense on that map. Because right now I tried to build a new defense squad with the other guys together for the seasonal. And I showed them a position where there should have been someone, but one of the assets was not in the briefing. And so this position was open. That's how they run in our midpoint from behind.
And this was all literally typed out by me, because from watching, and now the cat's out of the bag. So as the meta continues, CoRe and Havald will adjust to that. But as if you want to beat them, at least right now and how we're playing, that's how you do it. And we got the half cap from that. They reacted well. They sent some of their best shooters back. And like I said, we didn't have the arty, but that was literally all typed out. What he just said, it was all typed out, because that was the game plan. Because you're not taking them head on, front line to front line. You're not right now anyway. You can work towards it, but you're not. They're just too good on that damn front line. Great, but you have to have the front line. You have to buy the time. Time is the biggest resource in the game.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, luxl, chat wants you to smile, by the way. They think you have a cute resting bitch face, and they'd love to see a smile out of you. I don't know.
I'm just listening and focusing and learning as much as I can.
Yeah.
If anybody spills any secrets, I soak them up.
All right. Also, thank you, Froggers, for the Prime sub too. Let's move gears here, change gears. Addressing the power rankings, the Hilo system that came out yesterday or today at 5:10 a.m. with a new ranking. I'll just read through the first 15 and then we can kind of talk about the Hilo system and Elo in general and Hell at Loose comp. First place, CoRe, Mr. Havald. Second place, WTH. Third, 1/16. Fourth is 38th Infantry. Fifth, Mr. luxl, 82nd AD. Sixth, TL. Seventh, EG. 8th STDB, 9th 501ES, 10th the 5, 11th OP, 12th CNut, 13th DC, and 14th BST2, and then bringing out the 15th, bring at the end there is Esprit de Corps. I linked you guys in the planning chat there, the picture of that, but if you just want to start off maybe with luxl talking about the Hilo system here, do you think you guys are the 5th best team in the world for competitive Hell at Loose, or do you have disagreements with this?
I would put us above 38. Kind on 4th place right now since we lost this weekend to 1/16th. One of my major gripes with this Elo ranking right now is, why is Esprit de Corps 15th place? They are good. they are really good. They are one of the teams to watch out for the coming seasonal. Like the 15th place is just not
But
doing
as
them justice.
I mean, as Havald mentioned before the stream started, it needs time. It needs time to really weigh out what's actually happening, because you need those inputs for those points to start working. Me personally, I could give two shits about the Hilo system.
Yeah.
Means literally nothing to me. But if you want to talk about actually that working as it's supposed to, it just needs time. And I do agree with you. Esprit would not be 15th in the world right now.
What would your top 10 be, Muck, if you had to put top 10?
Here, let me look at
Put
the
you on the
list.
spot.
Sure. Full teams, right?
Yeah, full teams.
Because GoF number 1, but we just don't have players. I'm just kidding. All right, full teams. Let's go. Hold on. Can you give me the list?
Yeah, it's it's linked in the chat there, in planning chat.
He's
scroll
just
up a little
sad that
bit.
he's not showing up on it.
Hey, we're 35. I only see like the pictures of the scrims. I don't see the list of the teams.
If you go up a little more,
Okay, hold on one
like
second.
2 more pictures.
I just see the. Okay, there we go. All right.
Garrison OnlyFans. Foxian.
So I would put I do put CoRe over WTH,
Ooh,
believe it or not. Even though that WTH won, I think
spicy.
I think that CoRe, I think I talked to some of their guys about it. I think they just had a game. You know, there's a rough one for some of them, and a couple minor tweaks. And the other reason why I put them above WTH is because CoRe is relentless, and which is what I am. But I don't have, like, I have guys that are like me and they're like CoRe in mindset. But I think the psychological aspect is huge, and CoRe has that. I don't know about WTH. I'm sure they do, but I think WTH just has the experience. It's just grinded for so long. So I put CoRe number 1, WTH number 2. And then let's see, out of this list here, Blacklist number 3. Blacklist is actually
Ooh.
insane.
Ooh.
Their arty's very, very, very good. They're when you fight them one-on-one with gunfights, it's not too bad, but they just go to show you why the booms matter.
Unless you
so
get
much.
a crazy rammer in his squad, I think they're one of the really good shooters from the Blacklist.
Yeah, they have good shooters, but it doesn't feel like CoRe, where it's just like I said, you expose an elbow and you're dead. Or
Yeah.
WTH is like that too. Also, positioning is huge on that too. You don't have to aim that well if your positioning is so good that you can just get lines. So that's what good teams do. So I put Blacklist 3rd.
Okay.
I'm thinking so for 4th and 5th, I guess I'm between CNut, probably CNut and Esprit. So I guess I'll go Esprit 4th.
Can they pull a full team though? Is that a full team? Is that a full Esprit de Corps team? Because
I mean, it's technically not, because they have OP. So if you want to go Esprit OP, I would put them, I guess, 4th. Am I missing anyone involved that might be better than them?
That fucking shit. Stop it.
I'm trying to think, because I think they beat the 5. Blacklist, I don't know. I think Blacklist would put up a really good fight. So I'll go CoRe, WTH, Blacklist, ESP, OP, CNut, then let me see.
Where's the 82nd?
Yeah, where's the 82nd AD?
It's gone. It's gone.
I'll go 1/16th next.
Oh, okay.
And then 82nd. If you'd won your scrim, I'd put you up there. I'm just kidding.
I would watch that game. I would watch that game.
Dude, some of these I don't even like. 501. Honestly, I don't even know. I guess 5 after 82 AD. The competitive community is so weird that it's just so thin that it just feels hard to even do like a full 10. But
I mean, 501 plays with BST2, right? So they're listed here separately, which is the weird thing, right? So many of these clans are listed separately, but they always play together. Like 501 BST2 has been playing together they play together all the way through the Premier League, HPL. They're playing together in the seasonal now. So it's so weird to see them listed differently. Like in these listings, 501ES is 9th, TL's 6th. 501ES beat TL, went on to play in the finals versus CoRe where they lost. But you also have the 5 here, which is kind of like the Blacklist, the before Blacklist, and they're ranked 10th, and they beat TL in the 3rd place game. So it's weird to me how teams who have played in like highly competitive matches, like the semifinals or the HPL, why aren't those games weighed more? You know, that's my question overall. Like, why aren't competitive games in a tournament or in a league weighed more than just like a friendly game? Right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think friendly games should get counted at all, but that's just me. But once again, I don't care about the Hilo system. And I don't say that like in a bad way. I just personally just don't. So I got CoRe, WTH, Blacklist, ESPT, OP, CNut, 116th, 82 AD, 501 Bastardos, and EG. That's my top 10 right now.
Cool. Vald, any comments about the rankings there? What do you think about them?
Are you gonna put 82nd higher?
The point about the whole thing is, firstly, for me, the yellow system will work in a year or something, and unless people like starting to make new teams all the time, for example, the 5, I have no idea if they like standing right now will work for the blacklist too. Now, that's the thing that Soxus has to tell us. On the other hand, I think it's for a lot of teams about their who's playing on the game. Like in German we say Tagesform. I don't know like the translation right now for that in English, to be honest.
Tagesform?
You know, luxl, what I mean? How you can say that?
Tiger phone?
Sorry, I was reading chat.
Wait a
Can
second. Daily form, like how they are on, how if they've played the game through. That's the issue. We don't have that core. If we know there's a good enemy, basically the A team will always like sign up for the game. So if we need a strong roster, we will get that. But that's why I can't like really say who's strong or not strong. I have my personal 5. That's the point right now.
Go. Shoot.
And I would still like say that core is for me number 1, but that's like the issue because I'm from core.
I have a hot question for you, Vald. I want honest frontal answer here. When you played ESPT and Herchkin and only won by the lick of your thumbs, what do you think the ratio between A team and trainees was in that game?
I cannot really tell you because I did not play.
Oh.
And I
wasn't there. That's an
I can tell you I can tell you honestly what happened when I saw that we were almost losing against them. I joined into the Discord and I was going to the Werner and the other guys, what's happening? What are you guys doing? And I was like, you will not lose, but I will kick your ass. So I cannot really tell you, to be honest.
Yeah, no, because it seemed like there was a decent amount of starters, and this is no discredit to ESPTOP. They put up a really awesome fight. I think Hertgen is obviously, you guys are playing that a lot because I guess it's not one of the strongest. So we don't know if the same results would happen in like SME, right? But yeah, I mean it's a tough map for allies anyway. But yeah, I was just curious. No discredit to any teams, and it seemed like there were a decent amount of starters, but I don't know if it was the team that we played yesterday, right? Like just every name is like, oh fuck, like that guy.
I would say the thing is like what people even our recruits are like, I think, on another level sometimes, because we have a recruitment there, we have recruiters and they really look into which they recruit for us and which they give like the
right
a try for of the cake. So
you
even our
take
recruits
like
are on another level.
and you build it up, but like the A team has just all the experience and their nerves are just iced by now, right? They just like, I know what to do, I know where to be, I know where to flop.
Man, when you guys kept like started to cap at fucking town center and quarantine, most of the A team was like, we have to go back, but defense was saying everything is fine. I was saying everything is fine. So they still don't have the nerves they need for the season sometimes.
Yeah. It's it's tough because you have to have that trust, and they're saying yeah, but the other players are like no. It's a hard thing, man. But we had 2 OPs, we were filling them up, so it was close.
Alrighty. So yeah, power rankings there. A year. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like in a year. Hopefully some of these teams stick together. That's the biggest thing I take away from these power rankings too, is like you see teams comboing to be in them, they're listed separately, and then just new teams coming out. Like I feel like the blacklist was they just changed their name again. I want to see that team stick together for a year. That's what I'll say. Next though, Muck. If you want to talk about some interesting things here, you brought it up before the podcast. Something like
enough. All right, cool. Let's go.
The learning curve spectrum. Do you want to kick off with that?
Yeah. So this is the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I think both Havald and Lux will appreciate this as well. And I have a really corny analogy that I'm going to make, but bear with me. Because I think that one of the things I wanted to do was if anybody, any newer teams or any teams that feel like they're getting swept out by the cores and the WTHs, it's meant to it's meant to give them a little I guess hope or motivation. So the way that the learning curve spectrum works, as people may know, it's a pretty simple graph, right? The it shoots up in like a very steep incline, and then it starts to level out, right? Like it starts to level out. So where we are in the meta right now on the learning curve spectrum is that you have core and WTH on this incline, and they're still growing, they're still learning, right? But they're because at the very bottom it's like, all right, build garrisons, right? And then at the very top you have like, all right, we have one guy hold literally this entire grid, like such a micro play that's so value added. Like one guy holds this entire grid while these guys move, right? Some ridiculous play. So that's where the top teams are. But because of streamers, because of footage, because of the community growing, what's going to happen over time, as long as the game survives, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see all these teams give Core and WTH a much bigger run for the money, just like you saw Spree do in a very short amount of time, because they're riding up the very steep part of the curve quickly, while Core is learning the deeper intricacies, and then it'll start to level out. So that's meant to like you want to tell people that, so if you get smoked 30 minutes like we did, that doesn't bother me, because there's these tweaks that can happen. That's why you play, and the next thing you know, you're giving them a 90-minute game, and that may take 6 months, it may take a year, if the game survives, whatever it may be, but that's what's going to happen. So the analogy is this, right? And it's really corny, but bear with me because I love it. I made it. I'm proud of it. I don't know if anybody watches MMA or UFC, but there was the Ronda Rousey thing, right? And she was just unbeatable. She was there. Nobody could touch Ronda Rousey. She was going to armbar you. She was going to choke you out. She was going to judo chop and throw you. She was just unbeatable. Absolutely no chance. She was just like the odds were ridiculous. Like, yeah, she wins. She's the best. But women's MMA was an early meta. The spectrum was that Ronda Rousey was starting to hit that curve, and all the other women were coming up on that steep incline, right? So what happens? Out of nowhere, Holly Holm comes out and roundhouses her to the face, knocks her out dead flat, because everybody thought that Ronda Rousey was unbeatable and invincible, but what they didn't realize is that it was an early meta that was still growing. So Ronda Rousey ended up really in the long term not being that good, not making that comparison to Core or anything, or WTH, but I'm saying that's what a meta looks like when it's growing. Is that these teams or these people will be absolutely, stop laughing at the damn comments. What are you reading?
Don't make me jizz.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
To kind of
Uh,
go off of your point a little bit here, it's in my opinion way easier to emulate what the top teams are doing instead of innovating yourself. So if you see something that works for Core or works for WTH against you, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that next game because all the other people are gonna struggle against it. And
Yeah.
every time you play the top 5, top 10 teams, whatever, you're gonna learn something new. And the quote unquote lower teams, so to say, have an easier time catching up because they are going to get hand fed all that information and all the strategy,
Mhm.
and they just have to copy it. One of my best examples is the tank sniping artillery that was so rampant and the last season all, and pretty much everybody did it, and you had to play around it. You had to spend weeks as a tanker to just find the lineup, find the shots, and then you just watch the game and they're gonna present the lineup to you. So you're just gonna say, yeah, hey, on Saint Marie du Mont, you're just gonna spawn the 75 on the left HQ there. Just don't move it at all, aim at this pixel, and you're gonna hit the artillery every time. So it's something, it took us like 5 minutes to figure out after the game. But they probably did like hours and hours of research on how to find the spot.
Yeah. And
that's the thing 116 started with, and then it went down the
Yeah.
drain.
But yeah,
It's-
Luxl, yeah, he just that's exactly what I was getting at, is that you get all the information hand fed to you, and then you look to match the meta, and then you look to exceed it with your own strategies. but that
Mhm.
curve has to happen. So exactly, that's it.
But there's also continuous innovation.
All right,
because-
1B. Now I'm tired of talking. Just do 1B.
Now, so the one thing is also like you're gonna learn what the other team is doing, and you're gonna first of all try and emulate it, try and copy it,
Mhm.
but in the same time you're also gonna learn ways on how to counter it.
Yeah.
So I still think everybody is like on the steep incline, like you said, and only like a few teams are on the leveling out part. But
Right.
we're gonna get a new patch for the coming seasonal, so maybe AT guns get nerfed. Maybe we're gonna shake up the meta again. Maybe they're gonna throw us a wrench, and we're gonna have to adapt within a week of the seasonal starting.
Yeah, if you don't adapt, you die. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So always adapt.
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, if the game wouldn't receive any patches anymore, then it would be stale after like a year or so. But since it's still like new stuff is gonna get added, and AT guns hopefully get nerfed, so yeah.
No, maybe not. It's the problem is the overcorrection, though, right? It's not. I don't want them to be nerfed completely. I just want them to meet in the middle. So what they did is they went from literally doing nothing to being OP as hell, right? And now, so it's like now AT guns are not a meme anymore. They were a total meme before. Now they just actually kill tanks in 2 shots, which is ridiculous. So maybe somewhere in the middle, like 3 or 4 shots. So the ability to kill them, but it just make it harder. Why go all the way back to non-penetration when giggity? Why go all the way back to non-penetration when you could just have something in between what you've done? You just don't need
Yeah,
to
either take 3 or 4 shots or make the reload time longer, but they can get 2 shots off before you can even reload in a tiger, so that's just ridiculous.
Man, honestly, for me, it makes sense that they are so strong because a fucking tank has to be careful. That's also a real life aspect of it. Not to be like saying that this game should be more realistic, but on the other hand, if you're driving around a fucking tiger that's visible for any fucking dick on the whole map, you should still be careful and watch out for these kind of stuff. And if somebody's hiding a good AT gun is fucking with you, it's
Yeah.
your fault, not the fault of the guy. So I like how strong they are right now. You just have to adapt, and if people can't adapt, it's their fault if they lose it.
Yeah, you gotta have infantry in front of it, in front of the tank, spotting for first of all the enemy tanks, because that's how you win tank battles. The infantry's gotta spot it first, because if you run in blind, then it's just gonna be yeah, you're gonna lose your tank so quick. But also with the added threat of the ET guns, like you gotta have at least some form of infantry around your tank and in front of your tank. Most importantly, just spotting and seeing, hey, can I cross that street? Can I peek that corner? And yeah, it's just communication is key. I mean, it's hell let loose, so yeah, you gotta be able to talk.
If you don't communicate on your team and the pings are not good, you're fucked anyway. So that's the first thing you have to learn as a team. That like quick responses, fast calls are the important thing in the field right now. And you need, in my opinion, you need a commander who has an overview of what's happening. And if one guy's making a call, nobody's answering it, just make it as a commander again. So it's like, so guys start listening.
For sure. Yeah, I would be okay with either if they left it how it is, or if they wanted to go to like 3 shots and maybe 2 from the side or something. That would be completely fine with me. Just don't nerf them completely again. I think they're very strong. Strong part of the game.
Also, Muck, you wanted to touch on the importance of competitive play for a game, and then the tie-in with developer incentives. What do you mean by the tie-in with developer incentives? What kind of incentives
right.
are you looking for from the devs?
All right, if viewers, if you want to mute now, go for it. I'm going on a tangent again. So all right, all right, talking now. All right, so the thing about that is, I think that competitive gameplay really drives a game. So this is completely out of talking about the meta or strategy. This is actually just the implementation of encouraging a competitive scene, because it's like anything, right? Like if you look at, obviously we know Hell Let Loose will never be Counter Strike. It'll never be Valorant. It'll never be League of Legends. We know that that's never going to happen, and that's okay. But at the very least, if you encourage the competitive scene, which right now is just so behind the shadows, like you're either in it and you know about it, or you're just a pubber. But I think that with more streaming, more YouTubes, more footage of the competitive play, that's what really drives the game. I don't think it's like just the oh, look at this cool role play game. I was I was a sneaky sniper. That stuff's cool, and people that have good personalities can sell that stuff. But I don't think anything drives a game like a competitive scene. That's just honestly what I believe. Just by look at like the millions of dollars invested in the bigger games. Like I said, we'll never get there. But if the developers give us, more tools, if they make the game a little bit more balanced for competitive play, like the Tiger versus the 76 right now is absolutely abysmal. The 7 versus 9 second reload, like that stuff needs to be fixed. It's going to drive the game because people want to aspire to something, and if they see the game played at the highest level, a lot of people want to be a part of that, and I think that just drives the game. So that's really all I was getting at for that sort of thing. And I think
Yeah,
that developers can do more to do that, and I hope they do. 'Cause I know
I
they have a laundry
mean,
list. So
one one of
fix the loadout bug first, and then we'll talk about competitive
yeah,
game. But
there are some good fixes in the PT, but I mean, one of the best tools would be maybe dedicated admin cam slots that would be able to see both sides of the map. We would need icons for tanks if you're in the admin cam, because it's a pain in the ass to find tanks if you're in a forest map, and sometimes even on like Saint Mary Eglise, you can't find tanks if you're like if you're trying to find the quote unquote opponent's team tanks. So yeah, there should be really a quality of life patch, and maybe even like sponsor some of the bigger tournaments like the seasonal. It doesn't have to be much,
yeah,
but the winner could, for example, receive the reimbursement for the server costs for 1 year, because all of the communities like are ran by donations. That's how we get our servers going, and something like that could maybe, I don't know, enable CoRe to get up a second server, or I don't know, have something in the game. Maybe even do like a little Easter egg for the winner, or something to tie in with the community and to get
Mhm.
more people interested in a better viewing experience, because the
yeah,
game as it is good, but the viewing experience could be so much better.
I
yeah.
don't give. I don't really think they care about us at all about the competitive scene. They just want to make money,
Yeah,
so
but
they are making
what
this
I'm
game
literally
still
saying,
easier.
is that they don't realize that they're missing out on a monetary
Huge opportunity.
incentive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's literally what I'm like. That's 100% what I'm getting at. Is like, dudes, if the competitive scene grows and people are interested in it and they want to play because they want to be at the highest level, you make money. Like, you make money. So
And
just help us out a little bit. Just give us a console, something.
on the other hand, the big problem is if you like make at that point like of tournament with money and monetizing, there will come people to the community I don't even want to see here. Like guys from CSGO or something that think they can make money here now, and they will fuck up the whole community event because then they will come guys like, hey, I'm a professional management guy or coach. I can show your team how it works, and that's how when the fun is getting lost. For me,
Yeah,
example, because right now a clan here in Netherlands is more like a small family. You have people here you like to play, you're chilling with, and you build on them like the team you're sending to the comp games. And after that, it will become like more like unpersonal. And I see that's a lot of shit is coming in then with that. But yeah, it's a two-sided coin.
Yeah, because on the one side you want to grow it, and on the other side, I mean, maybe don't even make it like the thing is, there's like 50 people in a team, so it's not going to be about the individual. I don't think, like, there's no money in the world where you can like reach CS:GO numbers where you have like, I don't know, 1 million prize pot for a tournament and the winner gets like 500,000, but then what, you gotta divide it by 50
50.
or
Yeah.
divide it by 100 for like individual people. No, that's not going to work. But I think on a small scale, like
You're saying like small
some
maps,
incentive.
like a
S- uh,
6v6 map or something, where people like kind of like
mm, No, more talking about like small money just for the clans. So it's not distributed to individuals. So just the clan gets to use it, and maybe it should be tied in with like, yeah, you got to use it for server costs, or we're
okay.
gonna provide a server for you. Don't even make it money. Just say, hey, we're gonna provide 2 servers for you. You have Archon tool, you have admin access, you have everything is paid for. Something like that. Maybe. Mm. I'm just spitballing ideas here.
Yeah, no, definitely. There are lots of changes that I'd like to see that could make this a lot easier. You know, you touched on one. The tanks one is huge. The map one is another huge one. How about having reserve slots so we can have true 50v50s instead of having like a 49 or 48 kind of thing? And then you have to a pause feature. Maybe choose the layout of the layers so it's more balanced instead of just rolling the dice and having to flip the servers and half the team gets DC'd and then you have to pause it and double flip it again, and then it's like you never know. I don't know. It could be a
I
little
feel like
more.
you just get one nerd eating Cheetos for like a weekend to fix all this stuff, but I don't know. I feel like just one guy, like, all right, I'll do it, and he gives us console commands that allows us to fix stuff without having to DC, like you said. It's
So
total nightmare.
anybody who's watching this right now, if you have any programming experience, please send
Speaking
your
of nerds eating
applications to
Cheetos,
Team 17 and go there, work for a week, fix all the shit we're talking about, and then just leave again.
They
Why
just should
leave?
give us the fucking. They
mean-
just should give us some fucking map editor. Anyways, I want to make maps. These
Make
fuckers are.
maps.
Yeah, most of the maps are looking garbage. I want to do my own, but they don't give the editor for the people.
I don't know. I like the maps.
Okay, now
Which
now
one?
we
Which one don't
are
you like?
now
So
we
hold
are
on, Havald,
in
calm down.
like fantasy territory a little bit because I don't think
Yeah.
map editor is ever gonna happen.
I have the
Not in
books
this
here.
game.
I have history books about the Second World War here about the maps and everything because I'm studying that fuck. So I can basically put that book here and start doing it on the screen.
But you can do it. But every other person out there who wants to try and make maps, it's just gonna look like.
Shit. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I don't want to say it, but
I heard a shiza.
Scheiße. Oh man.
Which one? Yeah, no, I think the admin tools would be a great start. That's it.
Yeah.
Couple fixes in the game to balance, and the admin tools. That's it. I don't think that'd be too much to ask for.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah,
to start.
just give us the tools to do more stuff also on the servers, like decide how long the game is going and everything else, like
Mhm.
which points are like in the match and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
That would be really balanced for competitive play. That's one thing that
Yeah.
I think would be awesome. Like you can choose what points are laid there. You can, it's not a random luck of the draw where, one point might be super OP to one side and it's just like a one-off play. Like you can choose the most balanced ways. And you can like pause the game so you don't have to flip it. So there's no risk of people crashing right at the start when it flips. So that fucks up your start too. So I think that'd be really cool for something to happen.
Yeah.
Switching up gears now. luxl.
Max watching this?
Pardon?
Max from Black Matter, is he watching?
There's 58 people watching right now.
Hi Max, fix our shit.
before I get to my talking point, does anybody know if we got a shout out for the last seasonal on the Friday developer briefing?
Probably.
Because I don't think.
Yeah, they did.
Did we get? Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do shout outs from
I
time to
just
time.
missed it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Something in that form like that where like many people read it, so many public people read it, and they can tune in. Just give us a little bit more exposure, so to say.
No, for sure. So what are your thoughts? And then we'll do like a panel pick 'em, I guess. You guys all got the image here, the qualifiers coming up. We got a bunch of games set up here. What are your luxl? You suggested it. What are your thoughts? And who are you picking?
So,
Who do you
I mean,
favor?
first of all, I think this seasonal is gonna be way better than the one before. We have so many new teams. We have different stages as well. Who plays in what? So yeah, tons of new teams. I'm very much excited to see how it all plays out. And it's also good for the competitive scene. Like the more clans there are out there, the more people know about us, the more like it just grows, and that's what really is the best thing ever. So yeah, qualifier stage. Who do you want to talk about?
Go down the list. We got War
Let's
Red
see.
versus
I think
Phoenix.
War Red versus Phoenix.
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 Phoenix?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I think Phoenix has the edge there. As I said before, like way in the beginning of the podcast, that the Russian teams still are in not the best shape they could be. I think there could definitely be a Russian super team, but we currently do not have one. So I would go with the Germans on this one.
Never count the Russians out, man. Never.
Yeah, but Phoenix has some really good players, and I think they are getting back on track. So we will see.
They're playing pretty
where are
well
the
too.
Phoenix players? Yeah, where are they from?
Germany.
Germany.
Deutschland.
Are German players good at Hellos?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would say we were worst in the world.
Oh.
But yeah,
I'll take
CSP.
this next one. Hold on.
Yeah, you
Oh,
gonna take the next
uh,
one? Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Why don't you call it?
CSP versus Trirex. CSP has been getting better. I gotta give that to them. We play them on a regular, like every 2 or 1.5 months or so, and they learn. They are getting better. I still think that Trirex might have the edge here. My pick is on Trirex.
What do you think of all? I want to hear from Havald because he did play us. So
I would still say you won that. I don't see how you can't win that. Honestly, you will do that. If not, I'm not proud of you anymore.
So CSP got slapped yesterday versus Phoenix 5-0 on Foy in 39 minutes.
Ooh,
Foy
that's a
doesn't
quick
count.
one.
39 minutes, yeah. So, Muck, what do you think about this matchup coming from you're playing on Trirex? What are you
I have
thinking?
no idea who CSP is, but we've done some great things against the best teams. We beat 116 3-2, and that's considered the second best in Germany by many. So I have utmost confidence that we'll take that one.
Okay. Next. Oh,
You gotta help me out there, Heathen.
it's BWCC and is that Lost Legion? Lost Legion, BWCC, and the
Against
black
Hellish
and yellow
Heroes.
Hellies Heroes. Yeah, NA team versus NA team is Lost Legion. I think they might be EU. I don't know too much about them. I haven't even seen them scrim in any of the Hilo reporting there.
I heard about them, but I wasn't really sure how big they are or anything. So it's weird. They seem really lost.
But yeah, I haven't played either of those teams, so I don't really have a judgment.
The Hellies Heroes guys are in Friday Night Fights, right? There's a few of those guys there, and I think they've come out also to some squad
What's
line
the
battles.
team on the left?
We played against them I think a week or 2 weeks ago.
BWCC and Lost Legion. So BWCC Barbed Wires Collectors Club versus Lost Legion. I believe they're out of EU. I could be wrong.
I'm giving it to Helli's Heroes. I know that they have a couple good individual players at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you just give it to them because they're NA?
No, Hellish Healers is EU.
They're EU?
Oh,
I thought they were
sorry,
NA. I'm tripping.
Unbelievable. You think I would give anything to NA? Trying to get away from NA. Just kidding. But
What
no,
is
I give it
NA?
to Hellish.
Well, what even is NA? Have never heard about that.
Nah, that's what it is. Nah.
EG versus BST 2501 next.
That's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be definitely close.
I go BST. I go BST on this one.
Against whom again?
EG.
EG against
Eastern Group.
I would say I would rank them on the same level right now.
Yeah, me too.
So that game will be interesting to see what's happening. So we'll probably watch that stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CoRe doesn't have a lot of good anecdotes because it's either 30 minutes or a tough fight against like WTH. So it's hard to judge from their side.
Man, it's just like playing the game. The other thing was just like having on PTSD after that.
I think I'm gonna go with EG on this one. In my opinion, the Spaniards are on a little bit of a decline at the moment. They were definitely better in the fall seasonal, but since then they haven't shown up to play, in my opinion.
What? They just beat TL 3-2.
I know,
well,
that was a crazy game.
It's also TL.
Oof! Shots fired. NA shots fired.
Nothing about
Oh wait,
guys
what?
like them,
Nothing personal, but
that was very personal. No.
Five for Firsts is, in my opinion, on a little bit of a decline, so I'm gonna give it to EG. Havald, what do you think?
I disagree.
I still think it's open. It's still open, but yeah, we will see. No, I'm just unhappy with enemies to take Foy as a map against us. That's why I'm a little bit sassy off TL. But on the other hand, yeah, I still think it's open. I don't see who will win that, but we'll probably watch it to see in the end who makes it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I mean, Eastern Group has some really good players on their roster too. BST2 though, I don't think that I agree with the statement they're on a decline though. They're playing really strong. The weaknesses they had in their game during the HPL that were exploited by TL, they rectified them. So I think they're playing better. Now, if they're going to win that, I think it's a toss-up like Havald said. I definitely want to watch that game. Next, we have Finns Let Loose versus BWR Nordic. I'm not sure if that's the same BWR or if this is a new one, but
That's Bundeswehr Republic. It's a Russian clan.
okay.
Yo, Fin's not loose here for
I
me.
don't get why we took that name, to be honest. It's still weirding me out.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
they're Russians, but they have the German
They have the
Republic.
name of a German army. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe
wrong with
maybe
that?
there are some bunch of Wehrabus in there, and they just wanna like emulate the German
It's
side of
called
the
roleplay,
war.
Havald. Hello.
Sturmelite is still worse. My opinion from the name giver. So,
Oh, they're pretty chill. They're pretty chill people. Savage. They're pretty chill.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Finns on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Just
Finns.
a gut feeling. It's gonna be definitely a match on eye level. I think both are very evenly matched, but the Finns recently stepped up the game a little bit, and I'm gonna give it to them.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen BWR play before, but I know that the Finns, didn't they just lose to CoRe? Isn't that?
yeah, but still, they gave us a really good
And
opening and
everyone-
a really hard time.
Yeah.
So I still would say we will win that, and I don't say that because I'm dating a Finnish girl right now. So yeah.
Nice.
All right. What next? We got TL versus HLLPL. Ooh.
TL. I know I just shit talked them, but they are still gonna beat the Polish team.
Yeah.
It's
TL.
TL plays on another level. I don't think that's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna bet 5-0 in
Wow.
45 minutes.
And to soften the blow a little bit, TL has some very, very incredible individual talent. I just think that they just have a big open recruitment system, which is tough because you have to kind of there's a lot of training to be done. But they've got some big brains in there, man. Some really good shooters, some good tankers.
Stevens on the MG. You never want to be anywhere near him.
Yeah, their leaders in Coltrane Inferno. This guy's crack, man.
Yeah.
On TL.
Oh, the game against the Five, it was kind of weird to see. Like you didn't. When I watched TL play in the HPL, you could see their crack squads would be deployed somewhere and they'd instantly make an impact. But against the Five, it's just they didn't have that X factor. They kind of got worn down. They got pushed across Foy. They ended up losing it 4-1. The tanks and the AT guns from the Five were just insane. I guess they learned from playing CoRe in the semis there when they got run over by the 76s, and they said not again because they were rocking
the French
like
know the booms, man.
Yeah.
The French know the booms. You gotta have the booms first, infantry second. You gotta have those booms. The French do it.
Yeah. But I don't know about HLPL either. I can't make the call, but I'll defer to my colleagues here on the panel. Next is STDB versus 38th and 91st and somebody else. Why is 38th combining with two other clans to join the seasonal? Why aren't they doing it alone?
That's a good question I asked
going
them
on
too,
there?
but I never got a real answer. It was like more like, yeah, I asked them, and it was only, yeah, we are doing a collaboration, but I have no idea why, and I'm still confused.
Yeah,
Maybe they feel like their competitive team is not in the shape it should be.
They've been cracked though.
They are just.
It should be, in my opinion, they are the fourth best team right now in Germany. So their comp team should be ready for the season, in my opinion. So I don't get that.
Mm-hmm. Ever since they played 1/16th in the HPL and came back off from a 5-0 almost to win the game, that team has been playing amazing. I mean, they took a game off the 5, I think the last week of the HPL on Herkin, where they even lost. Like they were losing gunfights, but their overall strategy and their timing attacks were better, and they could have 5-0 the 5 easily if they had like dropped an airhead on the last point. So it's really surprising for me to see them have teaming up with other teams when I thought their comp team was really on like that up curve that mucksnapper was talking about earlier. They seem to be, at least. But hey, they've chosen to go it with some friends there. So who do you guys have, them versus STDB there in the first round?
Havald, you go first. You know the German scene a little bit better than I do.
Who they are playing again?
STDB.
STDB will win that.
Yeah.
Honestly, they will win that easy. Well, not easy, but they will win that. Because it's such a mixed team. Like there's the Gear 3, the 91, and the 38. I don't know how it should work out at the end because it's such different teams also in the aspect how they play. And STB is really like training. They are doing new stuff. They're getting better. So they almost won against 1/16, so they will probably win against them.
team cohesion is a big one. You gotta train with your people. You gotta know the person who is fighting on your left side, on your right side, and just throw in a bunch of, I don't want to say random people in, but new people who you don't have the experience with is always going to be a little handicap. I mean, on one hand, you can say that if there's just the best shooters from all three clans, then they may be a force to be reckoned with. But if a team comes in and does a surprising attack, some new strategy or something, I could easily see them fall apart in just a split second.
It's
Yeah, I
not
think
even
that
bad. Sorry.
I
Go on.
think that the Lux makes a good point. So if you throw the shooters together, I think the best strategy beats the best shooters if the best shooters don't have the best strategy.
That's
Yes.
So
absolutely true.
when all things are equal, all things considered are equal, then the shooters will win. But if you go in there and throw shooters in there, it might work. But I think that's a gamble. He's 100% right.
It's even probably fielding in these kind of collaborations because it's always almost as I hear it from other side and also know from our Pi and Wong had far experience before we formed Core. It's always a discussion and that's going bad on the like overall like motivation of the team and stuff like that. If some people get not feel it, but you still like think they're better than the others. I don't like collaborations. It's always like more of like a mess than anything else.
Yeah, it's just hard right now because it's hard to field 50. That's
Yeah.
That's why we're all doing it. It's rough.
No, that was a really good point though, Mucky brought up, and that's what I was saying. I touched on the 5 versus the game in the HPL earlier on with 38. They didn't have the killers, but they had the strategy that won. Next up is yeah. So did everyone pick? By the way, is everyone going with STDB on that?
STDB
yeah.
gave me a VIP to their server, so I'm going STDB.
I don't know.
No, I'm
So
kidding. I think they'll get it.
38 tankers are really strong though. Like I could see, like I don't know the positions that 91 and the other clan there are playing. Like if it's just going to be a recon, if it's going to be like an offense squad, but I could see, you know, if the PZ and Chill Music and Burner Bars have like a really strong game, they could kill some tanks in that one. I want to watch it though because I'm not too sure. I'm going to lean towards 38 for it though, because I like them.
Yep.
I like what they've been doing recently. Last game though, we have DCR versus ERF. Can anybody? I don't know who ERF is. Have you guys?
I never played any of those two clans, and I don't have an experience, so I'm just gonna go for the easier to pronounce clan name, DWR.
Who is ERF? Where are they from? Does anybody know in chat? Anybody heard of them before? No.
I think chat's still looking at Havald's hair. I don't think they're paying attention.
I have no idea.
Is this another Russian clan? I've watched DCR. I watched them play against 233 Cavalry. I believe it was a month ago. And I think 233 took that one for the French team. But I've never heard of ERF before though, so I'm gonna have to defer.
I'll just choose the better logo.
Yeah.
I will give that one to
DCR Withs. Their logo is
Ah,
badass.
true. That's the Chinese. I think they renamed them. Yeah.
Oh, was that CNut?
Is that
Nah,
CNut?
that's weird. It's weird. I think CNut is in the main stage, but there's also like a new Chinese team right now on the normal stage, and yeah, so probably Chinese
Oh,
guys.
that's DCR.
I'm saying the Chinese guys.
I'll go DCR then.
Okay, yeah, I'm
gonna
gonna go DCR as well.
Yeah. They on the main stage as Trigger. I know. But the
Yeah.
other teams also. So we have two Chinese teams this time. So will be interesting to see that, but probably Chinese people because we all know Chinese people if they get their hands on something, they
Okay,
do
so
it right.
everybody is saying GMJ and EWS is the Chinese team.
Okay,
So, yeah,
GMJ EWS. Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Chinese as well. If they're anything like CNut or Trigger, then they're gonna be a contender.
Has anyone seen them play? Anybody in chat seen them play? No.
Unfortunately, not. No. No experience, and I'm gonna be watching the games. That's sure to just see how they play and what they're up to.
Anybody here that's played CNut before?
Yeah, when I was with GoF was with the Spree, we played CNut.
How did that go? What was that experience like?
We beat them 3-2 on SMDM, but the CNut needs, I guess the same thing, but all right, all of the CNut needs is the booms. CNut has great shooters. They need the booms.
Okay.
If they would have had the booms, I think they win that game. That was a while ago now. They took CoRe on Stalingrad, but that was like half a team, and it's Stalingrad, so I don't know if that really counts. And then but CNut they're not playing around, man.
Okay.
They're not playing around. And yeah, we beat them. That was like that had to be last September or October. But already a tough fight. Yeah.
The thing is, when we played from Stalingrad, was that it was on, I think, Saturday at 2 o'clock dinner time, and most of the guys which would normally play against it couldn't play because it's such a weird time. We had a game at
Don't worry,
the
Havald, I already defended your honor. You're fine.
no, no, it's
Yeah,
just,
you don't have to
just
come up with excuses for your loss. I mean,
no,
we
no,
know Core usually beats other teams, and this single loss is
Core's
like
the best. We're the
completely
worst.
no,
traumatizing to you.
I'm
You're
just
pretty.
mad.
I'm ugly.
I'm just mad that I couldn't play that because I lost Stalingrad. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, they're a good team. So and they
Yeah.
get better and better. Like when the first time we played with that 104 was, I think we won, but they getting better and they getting closer
get
to
their
fuck with the big
artillery.
ones.
Yeah, if they get their artillery and tanks down, watch out for CNut. They're gonna be nasty, nasty, nasty.
Yeah, every time we played CNut as well last year, I think we won every game we played, but it was always a close one. So they never were pushovers or anything like that. Even though we played on, I think one time on American servers to kind of even out the ping, and one time on our server, and they still put up a really good fight despite most of them having like 200 ping or something insane.
Yeah, great shooters.
all right. Well, yeah. And overall, guys, quickly before we move on, who are you guys picking for the seasonal? Top 3 teams. Go, Luxl.
Core WTH 82nd.
Muck. What do you got?
I'll go DCR.
DCR winning the
no,
seasonal.
Yeah, DCR, HLLPL, and Red Army War.
Is there some kind of bets there where you bet like $100 on that and you win like 10 million or
Yeah,
something?
I got a good over under. Okay. No, just kidding. Those teams I mentioned, because I would say, I think Core takes it this time, barely, 3-2 against WTH, and I would not be surprised to see CNut in the third slot. Granted, they have a decent ping, or yeah, I would probably have to give third to who else is there? I guess CNut. I would not be surprised to see a shocker there.
Havald, hit us.
Oh wait, no,
I
sorry. Wait, is Blacklist playing?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah?
said. I would say
Yeah.
Blacklist. I would say probably Blacklist eventually in my top 3.
If Blacklist is playing, I give it to
Yeah,
I go Core, WTH, Blacklist, CNut, top 4. I know you said top 3, but that's what I think.
I would say WTH, Trigger, and Blacklist.
Wait, what?
Trigger. Chinese team.
Yeah,
Trigger
that's
is
fine.
the
That's
new
CNut.
CNut.
That's CNut.
So Core not in top 3?
Well, I see. I will see. I probably see us playing against somebody first, like getting like fucked with WTH, both in the loser bracket or something. That would be hilarious. I have no idea, man. I'm just kidding with you.
Core, are
I,
you watching this?
I don't.
Your commander
Honestly,
has zero faith in you.
honestly, the thing is, I don't like to brag about stuff. I probably see us getting back to the finals, but you never know.
I don't like to
We
brag
could
about
always do
stuff.
our best. I know what our
Also,
guys are
Havald, we
capable
didn't
of.
have our A team. Yeah, like I wasn't there.
Shout out to Ninja Pulver
Ah.
from DC. I actually agree with him for this. I think Phoenix is a dark horse. I'm gonna go with Phoenix. I think they're gonna break it up, break up the mold.
Let's do one pick from the qualifier round who makes it at least into quarterfinals. How about that?
Phoenix, easy for me. Phoenix.
Is everybody on Phoenix? Because I think I'm gotta go with STDB.
Ah, yeah, I can see that too.
What is the question now?
So the one team from the qualifier stage who makes it all the way to the quarterfinals, at least.
to the quarterfinals, or just
Yeah.
out of the qualifier?
No. Quarterfinals. Like
Oh,
going way
top
deep in the
4.
tournament. Yeah.
If there's a team to do that, I think it's my team Charx 100%. But if there's a team to do that, is what I'm saying. Like I said,
Alright, with the
our-
confidence, I like it.
our first scrim together, literally no time together, we took down 1/16th, and then we played literally the top 3 teams after that, Blacklist and Core, with their A teams. So yeah, I mean, we got smashed as a new team there because there's less room for error. But taking down 1/16th as on your first scrim, that's huge.
Yeah, that's a good win there. Havald, hit us. what is your sleeper team in the qualifying stage?
S2DB?
Also, okay. Yeah.
Nothing
right.
hard feelings, but I know what these guys are capable of, and
Yeah,
but my
I
main
know.
sleeper team is always CoRe, so it's fine.
All right.
But you're already in the main stage, so
Yeah, but we are still sleeping. We're
Yeah,
always
Core.
We're
sleeping.
still
I really think this
sleeping.
underdog Core is going to do well, guys.
Yeah.
yeah. Have
True.
you heard about that new German team?
It's insane. They have 140 players. It's
Corvus
nuts.
Rex, weird name, just popped up.
What does that
Yeah.
mean, by the way, Corvus Rex?
Like
It's
Kingly
Croaking.
Raven.
Pro King,
it's
right?
like
That's why the Rex
croaking.
thing.
It's
So we
like
did.
croaking. It's like you can translate different kind of. It's just like Rabenkönig in German and then croaking in English, or yeah, Crowley King. Yeah.
Oh, Crow King.
Yeah,
Corvus
not
is
like croaking, like you're
So
like-
we're
dying.
we're Trinity of Kings. That's
like
13.
ravens are also part of the family of crows, so
Mm.
the overall word in Latin is Corvus.
Cool. Yeah. Last up, Havald here. You wanted to discuss. Right. Yeah.
American reference.
The meta, guys. Where do you think the meta's at, Havald? Since you brought this one up, do you want to touch on that?
It's not more right now about the meta is right now. It's about like the meta will evolve right now with a new update, with like the CNut coming up, where we will see a lot of new stuff that teams will try out. Hopefully, we will see some decent hitting anti-tanks guns and stuff like that. I'm waiting for that, or like even guys sniping the artillery with tank guns. I'm still waiting for that one, to be honest. So
It's really hard to do.
Also, it's gonna drain your ammunition economy really quick if you do that.
Versus a recon vehicle, yeah. I think the
Yeah,
recon.
just put a recon vehicle there and you
even
got it.
like seeing teams using half tricks by now, I'm still like really unhappy how many teams using half tricks. It's like fucking why, guys? It's fucking strong. Use a fucking half trick.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes to talk about half tracks. So they're 300 fuel. Heavy tank for comparison is 600, and it's a mobile garrison. And if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the games. I think half tracks are gonna become like one of the, in my opinion, that's one of the strongest defensive tools. Because if you have a ringer of garrisons around your strong point or any position, you can just put a half track in the middle of there, and then you can have a spawn point that's really close to wherever the enemy is or wherever you need to go. So yeah, and the second thing that I like to see them used, but I don't see them used at the moment, is just reinforcing strong frontline pushes. If your frontline push can secure an area, why not drive a half track up there and have a mobile spawn point that cannot get locked in enemy territory? It's better than an airhead. Like why
Ask
is
Blacklist
nobody doing
about it. Ask Blacklist about it. I did exactly against that. And then Crusader
Yeah.
took it for a roadkill.
Yeah, he got 2 roadkills on the last point in the middle there. No, but not only that, before he put it into the strong cap there to win the game, you guys had it placed in a position where the bushes that are made of stellinium could not get to it. It was so strong. You couldn't hit it with rockets. They were trying to hit it with tanks. It didn't work. AT guns didn't work because he was right in a pocket where it couldn't get destroyed. And that's honestly what kept the push going. You guys got a few respawns off there, and then yeah, Crusader, the rest is history, taking that half track into the point, getting a few road kills. I think the last 2 defenders he roadkill in the strong point and parked right in the middle of the point, parked the half track there. That was actually pretty crazy.
Crusader's a madman, dude. That guy will die so much just for the spawns, and he'll make it work.
Yeah.
That guy's a
Yeah, but
madman.
that's what wins games, and he has
exactly.
90 minutes to do it. So
He's a mad lad. He's
him
one of the-
dying a few times doesn't matter at
Only,
all.
He's a
only,
mad
only
lad.
core player doesn't care about stats.
Yeah. Hey,
The-
one question I'd like to pose to you guys.
So good.
Rather 1 heavy tank or 2 half tracks?
What's that?
Why not both?
Would you rather have 1 heavy tank or 2 half tracks?
Or
I
that
mean,
one heavy tank.
it's 600 fuel, so we're gonna compare apples with apples almost. But yeah, what would you rather have?
I'd rather have the heavy tank all day.
2
Depends
half
which
tracks
side
and
I
AT
play.
guns.
Can you elaborate a little bit why the heavy tank in favor of the half tracks?
So half tracks can make spawns that can already be made. Yes, they are very useful, and they can get locked less easy. but you can't. You can make other spawns. You can't make other tanks. So you're basically cutting the value in half by saying, all right, we're gonna have another way to spawn, which we already have 8 ways to spawn plus OPs, but we don't have the heavy tank that can push with the line. Versus saying that now we have 2 half tracks, yeah, they can flank and do some crazy stuff, great. But then the tank comes in and mops them up or gets artied, or they get artied, and then you don't have anything. I'm taking the tank all day.
All right, havald.
I don't see it like that because if you place the half trick on the right position, nobody can do a fuck about it. You have to get so close to stop the spawning. And even if I like don't have a tank there, I can just let people spawn there and use to them to build an AT gun and fuck the tank over.
Mm.
Or even like a normal ATs and mines and stuff like that, or a satchel.
But that's talking
So
about tank. I'm not talking about tank for tank. I'm
yeah,
talking about like if you control the battlefield with the tank. I mean, we've seen all the best pushes in all the highest
I,
level games. They always involve a tank.
Yeah, but
I
two
would elaborate.
tanks, two
I would
heavies, not just
I
one.
would
One is very easy to
yeah.
destroy.
I would elaborate it like that. If first thing is always to spawn a heavy tank after you can like the counters down. So that's the main option. Even harder if you like an ally, you have to get the 76 as fast as possible on the map. But after that, it's like how you tank crews are using it. And the last games, for example, I spawned the first then I spawned a half drake, and then I did what I want to do with the half drake, and then I spawned the second a little later. So it's probably working. It's even the thing that on an ally exercise I would not place the tiger that fast anymore because before you don't know what's going on the map, what the enemy is planning or doing, you sending the tiger out is fucking dumb because it gets instantly
All right,
knocked out all the time.
that's a good point. I would choose 2 half tracks over a tiger, but not 2 half tracks over a 76, if that's fair.
I would never like place two half tricks on in a game. Anyways, one is enough. Two is like too much.
Yeah, he's just doing a hypothetical, I guess. Because
Yeah. Just spitballing out there, Heathen. What you want? What would you say?
I
Two
would
half
say
tracks or one
I
heavy?
could say I would I don't know. I could say 2 half tracks and then just I want to see more use of AT guns. I think AT guns are amazing and they're not being utilized
good
properly
right
right
now.
now. I want to
They're
see them
so good.
everywhere. I
So
want to see
hot
them.
right now.
Yeah. So like, and the thing is too with AT guns, I want to see some rotations, and if you lose tanks, take up that role, right? I think it was one of the daily events, like the squad line battles, or one of the other ones. I think maybe in Greyhound Night actually, one of the tankers died, and they just sat in spawn in HQ waiting for a tank. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
The tiger pushed. So there was one AT gun watching the south. There could have been a second and a third watching the north, but they're just chilling there. And it's like, you're waiting for a tank. Why don't you just go get it, make an AT gun and protect the flank? It would be much more useful. And I really, at the end, I think that, I would go with 2 half tracks and then the.
That's a really
AT gun.
that's a good point in general that you just made. Like I think one of the because of the early meta, people don't understand just how much value they can have in niche roles or being able to flex themselves properly. Like for instance, our artillery defense very very important. If you're actively fighting, you need those guns up. But once that's done, you can go build a garrison. You can go build an AT gun. You can go get in a recon vehicle.
Mm.
All that stuff. It's like I mean, if you're just sitting around, you already wiped the spawns. What are you doing there? There's just so much value you can add to the game.
Mm.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no downtime is a big one. Like if you don't have a job, find one.
Mhm.
There's always stuff to do.
I code friend, don't take that too personally, honestly. The other thing is like there's even more savage way. Just build a fucking AT gun in the south or the northest part of the HQ of the enemy team and just snipe their tanks when they spawn with the AT gun over half a map from their side. That's also a good thing you can do right now. We have done it right now. That's worth it.
Damn.
Just
Definitely.
kill them before they spawn.
Speaking of killing on the spawn, I know you touched on this about TL earlier. Do you have anybody here? This is a broad question. Do you guys have any meta plays for killing out of the spawn? Or do you have stuff up your sleeve for the seasonal? I know TL used it to great effect in the HPL versus CoRe, briefly giving them the midpoint on Foy. And I know other teams. I know for sure that other teams have peaks across the map to artillery and stuff like that. Do you guys have those kind of strategies ready to go? Are you actively looking and searching out, looking for them?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I think every team is. We recently encountered one in Scrim that was used against us, and we're like surprised Pikachu face, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that next game definitely. So getting the advantage for the midpoint is huge because the midpoint gives you such a strong position to just win the game. Honestly, midpoint is so important. It's not like detrimental to the game if you lose midpoint, but it definitely puts you at a disadvantage if you don't cap the midpoint.
For sure.
Capping midpoint first is overrated. Change my mind.
Really?
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we've actually
Explain.
seen CoRe back in the 104. Yeah, we've seen CoRe back in the 104 Pi days. It's a against I think 3891st, completely controlling the entire second sectors because what their squad leaders are smart enough to stay alive. That's the only thing you need to do differently. That teams need to do differently. Squad leaders stay the hell alive and replace the OP. Congratulations, you've just completely gotten all your position back. Now they just get a Garrison great that can be bombed, that can be overran. And you see, when it was 104 Pi, they completely surrounded Hospice with sector control. They barely even stormed the strong point, and they completely overran the team by the time they controlled everything. That's 100% value. That's very
So one thing that capturing the middle point first gives you is a little bit more leniency and room for error. Because if you lose an outpost and you have a garrison close, yeah, that's good. But if you are in the red sector and you lose your outpost, the next garrison is probably over 200 or 300 meters away. So if your squad leader dies, then you're going to be reset.
I think you
So
should,
it gives the defenders a little bit more of a
yeah.
fighting chance if they make mistakes. But if you don't make mistakes, then yeah, as you said, it's gonna be an even game because you keep your OPs up, you're gonna keep up the pressure, and if you don't let the enemy come out of the strong point, then you have them surrounded. What are they gonna do? Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
you're just
ideally,
gonna slowly crush them.
you would create you have to hedge your bets to create your sector control and cap the middle point. I think you should always go for the middle point cap.
Mhm.
But I think you should definitely hedge your bets with the OPs on the outside sectors to create those flops that can create those periphery sweeps, especially after you cap to get the soft cap clear. But the other thing is just nailing the openers. Like some teams, like we had trouble yesterday, real bad trouble. We got blocked by a Lux on the opener. Now, even if you don't win the opener, you still need the opener to be good enough to get you into a position to where you're not just getting immediately crushed out of it. Like CoRe had to be going like, where the fuck are they yesterday? And just like at the very least, if we went 2-3, we could have at least had some sort of setup to control the map better. But yeah, and that's what happens. So teams really need to practice that opener to at least set up for the 2-3.
Yeah, if you know you're gonna lose the middle point, then you gotta set up for sector control. Like St. Mary's Church on X's side, there should be no way you kept this point first because it's just so favored to the allies.
Right.
But if you set up the control in the north and the control in the south, you should be able to just cap it right back.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts on the meta? Where you guys maybe want to see it go in the future? Any comments on that?
Get rid of tank snipe in the artillery.
Okay.
Get rid of artillery. Make mortar teams.
Oh, okay. Spicy. Muck, what about you?
I mean, as far as like actual specific things, or
Yeah.
just like in general?
In general, specific, whatever you feel like, man.
Yeah, balance out the tanks. Yeah, we got to balance out the damn tanks. That is so important.
Yeah.
Axis are really suffering right now. The only contingency plan there is the AT guns, which thankfully we do have. I like the AT guns being strong. I would be okay if they got a little weaker, but not nerfed. Yeah, and just in general, I think just that everybody paying attention to that learning curve and realizing that they're not as far as they think. So just continue to evolve with the game because the developers pull the rug under us a lot. Like remember, I used to be so good at launching rockets. Like I could just eyeball every rocket, and then they changed the drop on it, and I'm like, I can't hit shit now.
Oh, we found out the Anthrax was going wild. When he saw
was
that they
going wild?
changed, Anthrax
Anthrax.
went wild when he saw that they did to the rocket launcher.
He had to relearn.
yeah.
He essentially just had to relearn the whole damn thing again. So
Havald,
No.
any things you'd wish for the meta if you could?
Give me fucking MGs on the half track.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. I would love to
That's
see
a
that.
huge one.
A 50 cal on top of the allies,
that
and
would be
then
sweet.
MG42.
So I can use them as a push, also like pushing onto the point. We're getting back Garrison in
So-
the point when they're capping and
This might
beating
be
down people.
Sometimes I wish it
controversial.
was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Last thing, sometimes I do in my little role player mind wish it was a little harder to flop spawns. But it is so powerful and it's such a really cool tool. But sometimes like there's a little part of me because I don't really want it, but there's a little part of me that kind of wishes it was a little bit more of it. Like if you had like a what's it called like a cooldown time to switch squads, and that would just empower CoRe more, which would suck, but it's just a cool idea.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to see is there'd be a bigger difference between cover and concealment. So I'd like the bushes not to be able to tank shells, like the hedges and stuff. Like I get that it's a strain onto the game engine to have like destructible environments, whatever. But like this is referencing Havald's little talk about the half tracks earlier. For the 5 or blacklist, whatever they're called now, to not be able to destroy that with like a hedge and branches stopping 20 rounds of a tank, it's just a little silly. Like if it's made of a bush, then okay, you can't like readily crawl through it, but at least let the big rounds come through it and not be like made of stellinium or whatever. That would be my
vibranium bushes.
Vibranium, whatever it is. Yeah. Lastly, Havald, the maps. What kind of maps? What are you thinking about the maps here? We have some questions about Utah Allies Axis. Do you guys prefer some maps to some others, or there's ones that you don't kind of like? luxl, what do you want to take a start with that one?
I can talk first. We had the question for Utah if you'd rather play Axis or Allies. I think Axis has the better positions on the map, just how it's laid out. But the thing is, Allies just have the tank superiority, and on a map like Utah, you can get cute with like your artillery, because you can just put a 75 on the artillery, put some
Smoke.
what's it called? Put some smoke on there and some barricades in front of it, so the snipers can't shoot you from miles away. You still have artillery online. You have the advantage with the 76. It's a difficult one for me. I would still want to go Axis on Utah, though.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Any map that favors tanks, I'm going Allies every time. There's no question.
Okay.
76, that's the 76 reload. I'm going with that every time until the meta shifts and people properly use panzerkanones or AT guns. Until they properly use those, Allies are taking the equal parts, all equal parts win there, or whatever words are hard. Meaning that all skill equal. I think Allies are taking anything that revolves tanks being important, like Utah Beach, Foy, etc.
Okay. Havald?
I would still pick Axis, even against WTH.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Explain your reasoning involved?
Because it's still like artillery is still such a big point of the whole game, and if you have a strong artillery that can't be fucked by the enemy, that is the Axis artillery on Utah, you can mow down their infantry without any problems. And you can solve that problem right now with anti-tank guns, which you have with 76, and the Tiger's still strong enough, like against infantry and mid tanks and stuff like that. So I don't see the problem. And you have the better weapons, the MG42, the STG, the
good,
German sniper on Utah is still better as the Ally sniper. So
That's
it's just a mix.
All fair points. I mean, if you're really just strictly looking at the map, sure, the most balanced point, in my opinion, would be middle point, which actually favors the Allies on the strong point as long as they space their garrisons. But then the top 2 points literally barbed wire out the west side, which means you can bottleneck the access into those choke points for artillery, and then you can set up those huge lines of sights with tanks and AT guns. So Allies not only getting into the point quicker, but being able to defend with those open lines. If all skill is equal, I just don't see how Axis beats.
Well, ask WTH about that.
Say what?
Ask WTH about if its allies are faster in the chapel.
I don't get it. Did they win on Allies, or yeah, they were Allies, right?
Yeah, but they lost their midpoint really fast. So it depends how fast you are.
But they won. Well, they won the game, so point proven. What's up?
Nah.
So a little counterpoint to that, if it's the church as middle point on Utah, for example, the Germans just have better options to get back in the strong point. They have the building on the northeast side. The city in the south also favors the Germans. So, like, where do you go as allies really on a strong point? You can go to church itself, but then city, but you don't have anything on the north to really base a really strong attack from, or to hold a good position. The Germans always have the advantage with the buildings there.
I think Utah's all booms to me. I think
It's
you can
it's
set up good
it's
sight lines, but you need big booms on Utah.
it's just like it's just like also about the playstyle. Like you can lock Chapel, for example, easy with artillery for the allies. Like if you just shoot at the open field, they can't get in that fast enough.
Mhm.
So I think Utah is still balanced. Like you can also like place a 76 on the dunes.
Hmm.
So that's really strong. Most of the teams don't do that. I don't know why, because you have all the overview.
Yeah.
So the only fucked part of allies really on Utah is the fucking artillery. You can't do
Mhm.
shit about it to get not knocked out, and you do not even have to send like recons there if you. So if you do right, so I don't know.
You get the Antrax rockets.
Yeah, you get the bush trucks working.
Antrax! Yeah, big old rockets from half the map away.
I got a
Ridiculous.
I got a question for all you guys, real quick. Would you like to see, when it comes to maps, would you like to see maps rebalanced or new maps?
I would like to see some new maps, but also like solve some problems on a few maps. I still don't like how like Hurtgen Forest is laid out and for the midpoint for Scar.
Mm.
Because it makes no sense for me when you play allies where the Germans can see you everywhere, even through the whole forest. They can knock you down with MGs from
Dude,
the other side, and
it's crazy.
it's fucking crazy. Yeah.
That's why you guys are grinding that side, because if you get stuck on it, you're smart for
Mm,
like trying to be able to overcome that obstacle, especially against a really good team.
mm.
I love the map. I just playing it. It's a very fun map, great role play map. But yeah, as far as balancing, it is rough.
They did an awesome job with
Also,
they
yeah,
did an awesome job with the no newer Summary du Mans, in my opinion.
Mhm.
That's really balanced at all points.
yeah, SMDM's great.
So they have showed they can do that. So hopefully we will see more of
Besides
that
the
in the future.
artillery pits, mate. Artillery pits for allies is a stronghold, and for the Germans it's just
I
Yeah,
don't know why
but
they do
that's
that. I don't understand what is their reasoning for giving. You should never give an artillery advantage ever. That should always be like artillery is just a problem. Like it should be an equal devastating thing. I don't get what their
because they don't think that way. We think
yeah.
different. We
They
when it
they
comes
don't
to
they
we,
don't
we
think
we
in
die
a
to it, not them.
competitive.
yeah.
We're the ones that
No normal like public gamer would start like building barbed wires around his artillery or stuff like that, or place a recon tank to defend it.
Mhm.
So that's just on us to find ways to solve that problem, anyways. You know what I mean? And if you
Mhm.
take enough time with a few people, you can solve the problem
All
and
right,
plan out how you do it.
I'm gonna change my answer because Haval brought up a good point about SMDM. Because they know how to make the maps more balanced moving forward based on previous data. I think new maps would be good to see, because then maybe we'll see some more SMDMs and some good balanced maps. Just not this garbage Stalingrad Kursk crap, because
Oof.
Kursk
Yeah.
is really.
ugh, horrible
Like
map.
they didn't balance Kursk at all. Stalingrad is kind of balanced if it wouldn't be for the horrible weapons the Soviets have, but Kursk is just a shit show.
I should have
It's
just built
not balanced.
Stalingrad up a little bit. Like, can I just hide behind an ice cream shop and not just be rubble? I can't
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Either because the map's open or because my frames are 3. Like, just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. Any. So, if you guys could get a new map, what theater would it be for? Is there anything you have in mind that you'd really love to see that isn't in right now?
Give me
Berlin,
urban
maybe?
warfare map.
Berlin.
Yeah, Berlin. Give me Berlin. Give me a
Yeah,
fucking urban
give me
warfare
Berlin.
map.
Berlin?
would be good, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Berlin.
Everyone wants Berlin. The Reichstag there at the end.
And
Yeah.
maybe some just German villages, like with something sort of similar to SME, but more like German style, so we can kind of see the I guess cultures and buildings and the different architecture. German base, that'd be really cool.
Or a bridge map, like for example, one of the
Arnhem?
Rhine bridges or something, or Arnhem. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would also be lovely.
Arnhem would
Yeah,
be cool.
So
Yeah,
something of a mix.
something Operation Market Garden would be
So
I was thinking that
really
too.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that as well.
Postscriptum has an Arnhem map, has Market Garden maps, and I can tell you now, it is hell to
Or
try to
just give
get
us, or give
across
us
that
Monte
bridge.
Cassino. Give
Huh?
us Monte Cassino. That would be fun.
Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be rough. Like a bridge map, they say one's coming on the roadmap. We can hype it up now, but I think for comp's sake, it's gonna be hell to try and get across.
What do you guys think about North Africa? Because
Psycho
I just
cheating
read
has
it in chat.
real quick. Psycho cheating has a very good point. Berlin map sounds like the next low FPS experience.
Oh yeah,
Let's
gonna
just be
be
in
the
the
next
middle somewhere
Stalingrad.
then. Yeah, 100%. Good point.
I don't get that. I never had problems in current time with FPS or in Stalingrad, and I have
Yeah.
not the best best setup. I don't know what's the problem with people with these maps. I almost have enough FPS there anyways. I never have lags there, nothing.
You play Commander, mate. You
Man,
play
but I'm also
Garrisons, you look at the
man,
map.
but I also play with the public. I
When I
also play
pull up
with the
my map, my
public.
frames are like 60. I don't know what the
And
problem
and
is.
I'm and I'm man, and I'm moving around. Even like the Friday Fight Nights when I was commander, I moved around a lot. Like, so I don't
Yeah.
have problems with these maps. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just shit talking a little bit here. Don't take it too seriously.
All right. Any last kind of things you guys wanted to bring up? I know we have a little fun thing planned, but was there anything? I guess we'll go around. luxl, starting off. Anything you wanted to say? Bring up?
No, not really. It was a
No?
fun podcast. Looking forward to the seasonal. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna probably watch all the qualifier games, see how the teams stack up, and who to look out for.
All right, cool. What about you, Muck?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is that I've managed to make it through the podcast without leaving to get food. I'm absolutely dying, but we're going to do the game first. And second thing is do this, please, if you're watching.
Build more garrisons. Yes.
There you
There we go.
Props to Mono Space Shell for putting out the shirt, and also great YouTube videos for anybody trying to learn. But I think most people watching this are just all salty dogs like us. So that's it.
What about you, Havald?
Thanks for the invite. I look also forward for the season, and we will see what happens.
Mhm.
A lot of new things in our trick box and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I'm just looking for a good time. Thank you.
No worries. All right. So to finish it off here, we're gonna have a little contest. I don't know if Vald wants to give a word to me, and I'll do it, and maybe, or are we gonna do the same one? How do you want to do this, Muck? What are you thinking?
I think we do 3 rounds, best 2 out of 3.
3 rounds. Okay.
We'll start with Havald will pick a word or phrase and say it only in English,
Yeah.
and then we'll both go, and then both luxl and Havald will judge, and best 2 out of 3 wins.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, how about you start us off?
Steam tank.
Steam tank?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll go first. Dampftank. Yes.
No, we have another word for tank in German.
Oh, that's what it says. I don't know.
All right. Oh, nope, you did your turn. Dampfpanzer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit. That's right.
Do I get round 1?
Yeah, he wins
Havald,
round
I
1.
think we gotta give it to Muck on this one.
Yeah. Go. That's good. All right, Luxley, you pick one.
Phrase is fine too. It doesn't have to be a single word.
Let's talk about food. I love meatloaf.
I love meatloaf is the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead, Heathen.
Ich liebe Hackbraten.
Okay.
Ich liebe Hackbraten.
Yeah, he's probably got it.
What do you say, Havald? You can be the judge on that one.
Just because Trotch is asking, these are all books, man. I have a library here because I'm studying history, and before that I studied law. So yeah. So another German word.
Wait, who won?
Yeah, we gotta decide who won.
Who you got, Lux?
I got Heathenhammer on this one.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. You screamed it, so you got the
That's the
spirit
problem.
of the German
He said
language.
itch. I thought it was ich.
Ich bin was?
Ich
Ich
liebe Hackbraten.
Ich liebe Hackbraten. Oh, okay. Damn.
Mm.
So I tried to throw the charisma in there.
Can you say that again, Heathen?
Yeah. It's hard to say. Ich liebe Hackbraten. I don't know.
Okay, you pronounce the beginning better than Mac, but Mac better is to pronounce Hackbraten, so I can't decide really who won
Ich
that.
liebe Hackbraten.
Hey, okay, you did it better right now, so funny.
All right, then.
Vote on the first one. Let Hammer take that one. He's got it.
Okay.
You gotta give me 1
Alright.
point at least, okay?
Yeah.
Just 1. All right.
I thought it was
The
ich.
next one is gonna be the decider.
All right, let's do it.
Havald, you're up. Make it tough.
Okay, we need one word or a whole sentence?
It's a whole
Just
sentence.
do a
like
whole
like
sentence,
full
ridiculous.
sentence. Yeah, something ridiculous. Remember, don't say it in German.
Fuck my life. Okay, let us do just a book title. A Chance for Middle Europe.
A chance for Middle Europe.
Yeah.
Should have done a chance for North America regarding it. A chance for Middle Europe. All right, Hammer, hit him with it.
All right, you go first this time. I went first the last two. You go first.
What?
Let's see you.
I like your strategy there. Oh, the word. Hold on. There's a word that doesn't do it properly.
Unless it is just chance in German. I don't know if that works.
I don't think it is.
Chance.
Well, don't tell us.
Ah.
All right,
Dude,
well,
no,
you gotta do another
you gotta
one
start
now.
over. You gotta do another one. You gave it away.
You can't do
Nah,
that.
the rest is harder to pronounce for you anyway, so I don't know if you can get that. That don't look so bad.
All right,
I don't know.
all right, fine.
Let's go for an easy one.
Eine Chance für Middle Europe. That was really hard.
That was.
All right.
No.
very
Hold on.
I'll try.
Eine Chance für Mitte Europa. Fuck. Why did I turn Italian there? Mitte Europa.
Hey.
Hell happens.
All right, Ethan, you gotta hit us now.
All right.
Fucked it up.
Eine Chance für Mitteleuropa.
See, you turn Italian too.
Oh, that was like more Finnish, I think. I don't know. Fuck it. Hey,
It really brings it out.
Mitteleuropa.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, come stai?
Beepity
All right.
boppity.
All right, who is better?
Corre,
How does it
studio
sound?
scuola.
luxl or Val? Tell us how to say it properly.
you
Eine
both
Chance
fucked up.
für Mitteleuropa.
Mitteleuropa. Oh.
Mitteleuropa.
That little
Okay.
that thing.
Yeah.
That thing.
It's hard, difficult.
Mitteleuropa. Damn it.
All right. Well, that was fun.
So was it me or Heathen?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go with Ethan. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mark.
Oof.
That's fair.
Well, they both butchered our language anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why you
We
go
gotta
with the
decide on
Heathen?
a winner somehow.
Hey.
But I did it good.
Grazie ragazzi, grande lavoro. Forza
Mark,
Ferrari.
you had some Italian ancestors, and it just shows.
Actually, no, I don't think so. They're all British and Irish.
It's okay, guys.
Few
It's okay. I have
Germans.
the solution,
There we go.
as we brought up earlier.
Ah,
I will beat
Deutsch.
Heathen.
Man, I'm studying Italy. I have Italy lessons right now in university. So what should I say, man?
all right. Well,
That was fun.
yeah, thank you guys for joining us. luxl from 82nd, mucksnapper from. Wait, I gotta ask you, Muck. What is // What is the difference? I know you're OnlyFans. Where'd you get the // from? What was that?
// is something from, I think, when I played Call of Duty 2, because I stopped playing video games and actually had a fucking life in my 20s. I stopped playing for like 10 years, but I remember all the way back in like COD 2, there was a team, it was like COD 4 or COD 2, but there was a team that did that, and I just always thought it looked schmexy. So //
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
it. That's the story.
Thank you for coming. And Havald also, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was a
Yeah.
fun one.
It was.
Yeah, that was great, guys. Great time.
All
Appreciate
right.
the talk.
Thank
Fuck,
you
I
guys.
have to work in 7 minutes. Ah, fuck my life.
Oh, see ya.